The woods can be dense for our acts. The sea can be deep for our diving. Hope comes and stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good morning, everybody, or good afternoon. Sorry. Whoa, sorry. Sorry. Just doing a little bit of sharing here. Sharing on the topic of disease. One more. All right. Nobody's quite here, so after that sneeze, I'm gonna blow my nose. All right. Happy days, everybody. Nobody quite here yet, so. Today we're going to be talking about thinking of others. And, it doesn't always happen. This is going to be as much of a process as anything else. And it's always good information to have. The other part is, and I know sometimes I get sick of it. Like sometimes I'm like, if I ever hear how it works again, I'll blow my head off. I have that thing memorized. Heard it so much in my life that I have it memorized. So, all right, we're at the 3-minute mark. Nobody's quite here yet, but we're going to go ahead and move on. Welcome to Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. I'm going to make this a really good one so everybody's like, oh, man, I should have been there. I doubt that's going to happen. If you're here, please say hello, whether you're watching live or the rewatch. Hey, if we can't have fun and mess around, then there's no point, and laugh, then there's no point in doing any of this. It's not going to be like that every day, but we do the best that we can. So it is today's daily reflection, as you probably already know, which means we are going to be reading out of the big book, page 20. Oh, man, I forgot to send a text. Let me send a text real quick. We're going to be reading out of the big book. There it is. This is the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous. If you go onto the internet to look for it, do not put in big book. You will get a different book. This is called Alcoholics Anonymous. Big book is our fond name for it because, well, look at it. It's kind of big. I don't know why we didn't call it the blue book, because it's blue. It's just how we are. So I'm going to start. It wants us to start on page 20, or that's where the reading comes from. But it's the very first paragraph of page 20. So I'm going to go back to page 19. Let's go back to the bottom of page 18. That's where we're going to start, right after the italicized paragraph there. Sweet, sweet talking juice. I've got a Coke problem, so there it is. It's my Coke problem. My wife's my Coke dealer. Sorry, this is a text about meds. All right. So that the man who's making the approach has had the same difficulty, that he obviously knows what he's talking about. Okay. So I don't know that I necessarily remember my very first 12th step call, but I do remember several of them. And the main thing that usually went on is camaraderie, hope. You know, we have to listen. It's time for us, we've done the steps, or maybe we haven't yet, and that's okay too. The sooner we start thinking of others, the sooner we start helping others, the sooner we're going to start getting through the steps, the sooner things are going to start happening in our life. And that is his whole deportment shouts at the new prospect that he is the man with a real answer, that he has no attitude of holier than thou, nothing whatever except the sincere desire to be helpful, that there are no fees to pay, no axes to grind, no people to please, no lectures to be endured. These are the conditions that we have found most effective. After such an approach, many take up their beds and walk again. Do not lecture. If you lecture, you're just going to sound like, don't talk over the person's head. Hey, don't do that. Do you think you're like SUD or something? Just don't say that. Don't say AUD, say alcoholism. Stick with layman's terms. Do not talk over their head. You will lose them immediately. Okay? Stick with everyday common English. You should do that anyway. It ticks me off when people use big words and it isn't even appropriate for the sentence. It drives me crazy. Okay? None of us makes the sole vocation of this work, nor do we think its effectiveness would be increased if we did. We feel that the elimination of our drinking is but a beginning. A much more important demonstration of our principles lies before us in our respective homes, occupations, and affairs. So here's my thing. I understand that we have a lot of speakers and things like that go out and speak for us, and I think 90% of them are full of shit. If you're not working in your community first, you're a hack. We're supposed to be doing this in our homes and our communities. It's not about being popular on the World Wide Web or becoming popular on the internet. That is not what it's about. It isn't about the amount of likes or hearts or the different things that we get. Those things are just appeasing. Okay? I don't go for them. I stop seeing how many comments I get for things. Because then you start comparing, and it does no good, man. It does no good. The only purpose of the Daily Trudge is to help one person. If it does that, it's done its job, and it's worth every single effort to do it. So what do I do here? I hold space for people. That's why it makes it feel safe. This really isn't a safe space. It's safe because I'm here. And people just don't like to fuck around with Dion. I've got a lot of courage. I've got God in my life. People look at me and say, you don't fuck with that. Don't fuck with that guy. Okay? So don't fuck with this guy, man. You can. You fuck around a little bit. I like to have fun. I like to have fun, man. You know, but we do have a duty beyond in our communities. In our community, man. There's people blocks away. Your next door neighbor probably needs your help. Go help them. How do I do that? Do shit outside and be a good example. That's how we do it. What if nobody sees me? Who fucking cares if anybody sees you? You know, it's like yesterday in the daily reflection, it said I can't just sit around and wait for people to ask me to come up and sponsor them. I thought, what the fuck are you doing waiting? Why are you not searching for your sponsees? I do. I search. Why do you think I go to meetings? I'm looking for my sponsees, man. Looking for the right fit. I want to help these people. Yeah. I got room for another one right now. I'm actually currently looking. Yeah. All right. All of us spend much spare time in the effort which we are going to describe. A few are fortunate enough to be so situated they can give nearly all of their time to the work. I'm one of those people. I get to do that. But I give up a lot. Tit for tat, man. That's the way it works. If we keep the way that we are going, there is little doubt that much good will result. But the surface of the problem would hardly be scratched. Those of us who live in large cities are overcome by the reflection that close by are hundreds dropping into oblivion every day. Many could recover if they had the opportunity we had enjoyed. How then shall we present that which has been solely freely given to us? Well, in the beginning, they wrote this book, which they're getting ready to talk about. But how do we do it now? Everybody knows about AA. No, they don't. No, they don't. That's not true. How about when you came into AA? Was it what you expected? See, TV and movies and these other things give off a different purview of how AA is, which it is not. Okay. That reminds me, keep your Bible verses out of the meetings, man. They don't belong there. Okay. We don't read from anything else. Okay. I don't want to hear your Bible because that means we can bring in the other stuff too. But might as well read from the Book of Mormon or whatever. Okay. God, my cat looks all small. Looks kind of cool. Somebody's got to say that's cute or something. Okay. All right. We have concluded to publish an anonymous volume setting forth the problem as we see it. We shall bring to task our combined experience and knowledge. This should suggest a useful program for anyone concerned with a drinking problem. Of necessity, there will need to be discussions of matters medical, psychiatric. So let me redo that one: psychiatric, social, and religious. All four of these are very important. Okay, and we must understand. We must understand why we're discussing them. Number one, medical. Okay, we got to be honest with our doctors. If we're not honest with our doctors, they can't help us. Even beyond alcoholism. Okay, if you're over 50, you got to go get that colonoscopy done, man. Just get it done. Took me months to get done. Trust me, it wasn't easy, but I got it done. Okay, I had to take care of my health. In fact, I suck at it. I need to do much better at it. Psychiatric. That's probably my number one thing. I go to therapy. I go to a lot of groups. I've been doing this a long time. I've been in a lot of different types of groups. I had forgot that I was a counselor for. I just remembered yesterday that I was a counselor for a place called Anytown, Colorado, which was a camp for underprivileged youth, and it was So it was. I had some great memories there. Um, right. Social, man. I wasn't. I wasn't very social at the end of my drinking. I had to learn how to be out in society and be a working member of society and not running around the world saying how everything is just wrong and disrupting everything around me, and therefore embarrassing my wife, which I did a lot. And religious. I'm gonna skip that one. We are aware that these matters are, from their very nature, controversial. No, they're not. They don't need to be. No, they don't need to be. If we can show a little bit of respect towards other people, maybe think, for the grace of God, there goes I. Does that ever cross your mind? It crosses my mind on the daily. Okay. But for the grace of God, go I. Because I'm going to tell you, I talk to a lot of different people. I see a lot of different people. And I can be that person too. I was that person at one point. You know? Um, Nothing would so much please us to write a book which would contain no basis for contention or argument. It's going to be impossible. People have opinions. It's just the way it is. So, but they're saying something important there. AA is not going to fight with you. We have no say so. We have no say so. Okay. So, therefore, we need to be careful by playing doctor and therapist. Remember that we have our experience. My experience is with PTSD, anxiety, and depression. I've done a lot of EMDR. I've done a lot of talking, a lot of CBT, and it's worked real well for me. I need to get back to the EMDR. That is my experience. It doesn't mean it works for somebody else. It will work. It will work, right? If you're willing and things like that. Okay. But your experience is going to be different, most likely. And that's good. That's a good thing. Why? Because we don't want to be the hole in the donut either. I don't want to look like every other snowflake in the room. That's not a bad. I'm not using that reference to political, by the way. Okay, I don't want to be like everybody else in the room. I love being close to my people. I do. I don't want to be like them. I want to be me, and I want them to be them because that makes it quite entertaining for me. Right? I get to enjoy that, and why not? We shall do our utmost to achieve that ideal. Most of us sense that real tolerance of other people's shortcomings and viewpoints and a respect for their opinions are attitude which makes us more useful to others. And here it is. Our very lives as ex problem drinkers depend upon our constant thought of others and how we will meet their needs. That comes back to meeting people where they are at. That means when a newcomer comes in, go to their level, man. It's not that hard. You remember your last days of drinking? Sure you do. Just go back there. Talk about that. Hey, when I first got here, I was yellow. I look like a Simpsons character. You know what? To us, that is funny. People always laugh at it when I say it. Fuck, it was scary. Scary. So fucking scary. Right? Am I going to get upset that people laugh at it? No, I turned it into a joke, man. Okay? If we can't laugh at ourselves and the silly things that we've done, man, I'm afraid I'm doomed to repeat them, and I don't want that. Mm-mm. I'd rather laugh at myself and have a good day than sulk. All right. All right. That's the part they wanted us to read there. So let's go to the reflection. Thinking of others has never really come easily to me. That sucks. It came real easy to me. I'll tell you why. I'm a I'm a Virgo people pleaser. Why? Because I have codependency issues. There you go. Anything in the extreme is bad. Okay. So I'm going to give you a line. Never work harder than the sponsee. I actually got it from the field, and it goes, never work harder than the client. Ever. It's not your bullshit to do. Let me rephrase that. It's not your work to do. Okay? It's not bullshit. It's good. It's great stuff. Even when I try to work the AA program, I'm prone to thinking, how do I feel today? Am I happy, joyous, and free? Oh, sorry. I find that very funny. I find it funny because I used to do that. I mean, when I was saying, oh, thinking others, and then I'm like, oh, wait a minute, I said that too. Right? See how much alike we are? Wow, huh? How am I feeling today? So, what were my intentions really about others? Now, okay, we can check our attitude in the morning. We do. I need to. I have nightmares. Okay. Before I got up today, when I was getting up today, it was horrible. Everybody hated me. They took all my shit again. They took my PlayStation again. You know, I'm 15. And it's weird. Anyway. The program tells me that my thoughts must reach out to those around me. What would that would that newcomer welcome someone to talk to? That person looks a little unhappy today. Maybe I could cheer him up. It is only when I forget my problems and reach out to contribute something to others, I can begin to attain the serenity of God consciousness I seek. I'm sorry. I hope everything's okay. And I was just wrapping up. So I'm glad that you were here. It's good to see you, Ingrid. Some. Our thought of others must come along. Now remember, okay, because a lot of people do this. Working with others doesn't mean don't work on your problems. Okay? See, when you work with others, what it does is it alleviates the feelings that you have around your problems and right sizes them so you can deal with them. See, the action you took right sized that problem. Now you've got to work on that problem. Don't avoid the problem. Don't put water on it. Don't sweep it under the rug. You take care of that problem. Okay. But sometimes we need to work with somebody else so we can see the forest for the trees first. Okay. All right. Great stuff. Great stuff. All right. I wanted this to be one that everybody was sad they missed. Nobody's ever going to know that. All right. I had one listener here today. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. You are not required to say anything here. So I do appreciate you hanging out and listening. When I see one up there, I'll talk for longer. So thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it. Ingrid, thanks for stopping by and saying hi because you love me. That's the kind of gifts I get in my life now. I love you all. Peace out. And oops, wrong button. And have a day.